Fish in a Tree by Lynda Mullaly Hunt. Chapter 38. So, Fantasticos, Mr. Daniels says, I've told you about nominating a class president for our first ever school-wide student government. Do we have our first nomination? Jessica raises her hand. I nominate Shay. Shay looks back at her and turns forward. She looks like she's ready for her crown. Okay, good. Another nomination? No one. Come on, we can't have an election with only one name. I wait, glancing around. I know there will be no more names because Shay has made it known, since Mr. Daniels first announced the election, that anyone who runs against her will regret it. In fact, their children and their children's children will regret it. And she can actually do something like that. Nope, there will be no more names. Albert raises his hand. Whoa, Albert. Way to be brave. I glance back at Shay, whose eyes are now little slits. But then, Albert just asks to go to the bathroom. After waiting and prodding, Mr. Daniels finally says, I'll draw a name out of a hat, or tell the council that we don't have a representative. Come on, folks, step up. Another wait. Then Shay raises her hand. Well, Shay, this is good sportsmanship. Who will you nominate? She cracks a smile. I nominate Ali Nickerson. Wait, no, she didn't say me. I look back at her staring at me while Mr. Daniels compliments her again. And then it hits me like a boulder. Of course, she wants to win, so she nominated me, a surefire loser. Is that okay? Mr. Daniels asks me. Can I say no? Yeah, you can say no, but I think you should run. I really, really want to say no. Just not to him. Okay. I'll do it. I guess. Good, he says. Now, both of you will need to say a few words tomorrow, and the voting will follow. Oh, I get to write a speech, Shay says to Jessica. Then I hear her whisper. I'm terrified. I can't write a speech. After school, Mr. Daniels apologizes for not being able to help me today because he has class at the college. However, he suggests that I just be honest about why I want to be president of the class. He asks if my mom can work with me that night. I tell him that she will. I know she would in a heartbeat, but I would never ask her to help with this. It would just get her hopes up. I figure I should write something down if Shay is going to. I'll look like a baby with no speech. So I sit down at our dining room table with a blank piece of paper, all bright white and staring at me and making my head hurt. I want to ask my mom for help so bad, but if she knows I'm running for president of the class, she'll get excited. She'll want it even more than me. I'm afraid to want it. But a mind movie shows me at the front of the class and Mr. Daniels congratulating me, and I have to admit that I really would like it. I pick up the pencil and concentrate real hard. Real hard. When I write, I press on the paper too hard, but I can't help it. It makes my hand hurt. I try to spell as best I can. It takes me an hour and a half to write 2 paragraphs. I finally go to bed, praying for a high fever, the kind of sickness the whole town talks about, the kind of sickness that Albert would find super interesting. A good reason to not show up tomorrow. Chapter 39. To Shay. On the way to school, I wonder about taking the long way, like through Mexico. When I arrive, the first thing I see is Albert, who has a black eye. Albert, Keisha says, when are you going to teach those boys a lesson? It's nothing, he says, all serious, and then gets happy. Look, he holds up a big sign for me. Allie is your Allie. Give her your vote. You made a poster for the election, I ask, smiling. I know I'm going to lose, but this makes it okay. Thank you, Albert. He looks proud. But, why does it say my name twice? Your name is a homonym. I should have known better than to ask questions of Albert. You know, a word with the same spelling but different sounds and meaning A-L-L-Y spells your name, but it also spells A-L-L-Y with a long I sound at the end. An ally is someone who is on your side, someone who sticks by you, like allies in war. Shay comes by with Jessica. She looks at the poster, then at the three of us. Good luck, six-legged freak. I guess Allie will get 3 votes anyway. After they leave, I look at the three of us and think about how there are 3 primary colors: yellow, blue, and red. Those 3 colors create every other color ever. Keisha goes over to talk to Suki while I take a deep breath and turn to Albert. I know I'm going to lose, and Shay will never let me forget it. I look down at the desk and see Albert's sign. But at least I'll have a poster. I smile at him. Can I bring it home? Yes, but you can't give up, Albert says. Okay, well, maybe you're right, Albert. But you shouldn't give up either. I am not nominated for class president. I point at his black eye. But you got beat up again, didn't you? He shifts his weight and looks away. It's hardly the same, he says. And I feel sad that he doesn't see that it's too different. It isn't too different. Then Keisha returns. Are you ready for today? No, I shake my head. Ready for public humiliation? How do I get into these things? She leans over and whispers, You'll do a good job. Albert and I are voting for you no matter what you say in your speech. I half smile. What if I say you have to lick the lunch tables clean? Well, I just won't do it. That'll be easy, Keisha says, pushing her shoulder. Albert adds, It depends what we have for lunch that day. We laugh. I'm happy that he doesn't seem mad about my questioning him. Mr. Daniels is wearing a George Washington tie. He gets up and calls Shay to present first. I notice she is dressed in red, white, and blue. I look down. I didn't even think about wearing anything special. Shay talks about how great she is and all that she'll do. Kids applaud over her promises. Some of the things she says she'll do, I can't imagine how she would pull off, like extra recesses, longer snack times. When she promises new, bigger lockers for the hallways, I know she can't do that. With every sentence, kids are happier, and I feel smaller and smaller. I get up there holding my paper. The sound that comes out of my mouth doesn't sound like a real word. I try again and get the same sound. Then, 4 more times. The quiet laughs rise all around me, but Mr. Daniels holds his palm toward the class without taking his eyes off me, and the noise stops. I feel hot. Then, Etch-a-Sketch brain hits me and I go blank, staring at a page that I wrote, that I can't read. Shay looks smug, and it makes it even harder. Mr. Daniels bends over, resting his hands on his knees. He whispers, Look, you can do this, and you can hit it out of the park, too. I shake my head a little. I believe in you, Allie. Now forget what you wrote. Put the paper down, take a breath. Close your eyes if it makes you nervous to see everyone, and just be honest. Be you. He slides the paper out of my hands, and I stand there silent for too long. I do close my eyes, wishing it would block their view of me as well. Mr. Daniels' voice is gentle, almost a whisper. I want to be president of the class because I think it'll be fun. And I think I'd like it, I say, eyes still closed. Good. Keep going. I promise to be honest. I promise to work hard. I promise to listen to everyone who has ideas, not just my friends, because I would be in charge of the whole class. Well, not in charge exactly, but I want everyone to have a chance to give their ideas. I'll go to the meetings and I would try to get extra things, like recess, but I can't promise that I can do something like that. I open my eyes and look at Mr. Daniels. Can I do that? Actually, no. You don't want me fired, do you? I shake my head, feeling kind of dazed. Do you have anything else to say? I don't think so. Okay then. He motions toward my seat and I sit down, stunned that it's over. Now for the vote, he says. He begins to pass out little pieces of paper. Wait, Shay says. All the other teachers have just had everyone raise their hands. Well, I thought it would be more like a real election, a secret ballot. Everyone will write the name of their choice for class president on the paper and fold it up. I will walk around to collect them. That's not fair. Well, he shrugs. If it's good enough for the U.S. government, it's good enough for us. I smooth out the tiny piece of paper and try hard to be neat. There's a lump in my throat as I write down my own name, and I don't even know why. Maybe because I'm not writing it down on a sign-in sheet for detention or signing an apology for something. I fold it 1, 2, 3 times and put it in the basket when Mr. Daniels comes by. He says he'll let us know later, but everyone begs him to count now. So he does. He opens the first one. Shay. He opens another. Shay. He opens the third. Shay. But when he opens the next 4, they're all for me. And I'm surprised. A couple more for Shay, and then 4 more for me. 4 more? I can't imagine who would vote for me. I thought everyone loved Shay. But as I look around the room, kids are glancing at me. And some actually look happy. Oliver and Suki and a bunch of other kids. Toward the end of counting, when it looks like I've actually won, Shay crosses her arms and falls back against her chair. In the end, Mr. Daniels shakes hands with Shay and tells her she ran a good campaign. Then he turns to me and says, "Congratulations, Madam President Nickerson." And then he salutes me and laughs. The class claps. Keisha is up and dancing while Albert gives me a single nod. "Mr. Daniels," Max raises his hand, "I think this calls for a party." "Why, Max? Because it's Wednesday?" "Any day is a good day for a party, Mr. D," he says, and Shay looks annoyed with him. But her real dagger eyes are saved for me. At least, she's quiet, for once. And that is all perfectly fine with me. Till next time.